With my young wife, we've been living together for 2 years now. I'm 37 and she's 28. We inherited an apartment from my grandmother, where we started setting up our life together. We saved up some money and decided to renovate it. Because of this, we temporarily moved in with my wife's mom, my mother-in-law. The plan was to stay for at least a month, but, as you know, things don't always go as planned. I took 2 weeks off work to supervise the renovation at the beginning, while my wife continued working as usual. So, we had been living at my mother-in-law's place for 3 days. My mother-in-law, a divorced woman, still looked quite good. Meanwhile, my wife and I were terribly missing each other. But she kept putting me off, saying it was awkward with her mom nearby. One day, I was in the shower and forgot to lock the door. Suddenly, my mother-in-law burst in. I jumped in surprise, but she just gave me a sly smile after looking me up and down, and then she left, clearly pleased with herself. By the way, her name is Galina Sergeyevna. I thought that was the end of it, convincing myself that she hadn't seen anything. And even if she did, it wasn't a big deal. The evening passed, but the next morning, Galina Sergeyevna was unrecognizable. She was all dolled up in makeup, wearing a different robe, with her hair styled like a secretary's. She only lacked glasses. She also smelled of a lovely perfume. We sat down to breakfast and drank coffee. My wife kissed me on the cheek, blushing while a barely noticeable smirk flashed across my mother-in-law's face. The front door slammed as my wife left, and I was left alone in the apartment with Galina Sergeyevna. "Want some more coffee?" she asked, brushing her hand against my leg. That woke me up from my half-asleep state. "Yes, sure," I said. She looked straight into my eyes, exuding that intoxicating scent. Damn it, I thought. Is she doing this on purpose? Galina Sergeyevna got up from the table, turned her back to me, and began fiddling with the coffee pot. I looked up and couldn't take my eyes off her. Something stirred within me. The next moment, I stood up and walked over to her, intending to help. But instead, I stood very close. So close that there was no space between us. She gasped in surprise. I expected her to say something, anything, to confirm that I was on the right track and that there wouldn't be a scandal. But I didn't have to wait long. She broke the awkward silence. "Son-in-law, do you like me?" Without thinking, I answered, "Of course. You look absolutely stunning today, and your scent is mesmerizing." She turned to me, smiled, and said, "Thank you, my dear. Now, kiss me." Then came a sweet kiss that made my whole body boil. I picked her up in my arms and carried her to the bedroom, where we spun in a dance of love and passion. At that moment, I had no thoughts, no shame, no fear, nothing. The next morning, after my wife left for work again, I walked into the kitchen. Galina was finishing her coffee and looking out the window. I touched her shoulder. She raised her head and looked into my eyes. "Is everything okay?" I asked. She replied, "What have we done, son-in-law?" I can't even look my daughter in the eyes now. I hugged her and whispered into her ear, "You'll get used to it, my dear. Now, let's go to the bedroom, and I'll chase away these thoughts."